Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good afternoon to you guys. Hey, listen, today is going to be an amazing day. I've got a wonderful genius entrepreneur today that will be joining me today. Um, you know, Please do share the stream. Let's get many more people on board. You don't want to miss today. I'm telling you, you will laugh so much. Your ribs will be hurting, but you will also learn something incredible today. So it's always an honor to host you guys and to bring people to share their journey and their stories with you. Please do share the stream. You don't want to miss the guest we've got today. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. So, guys, it's always an honor. Today, we're going to talk about something very unique. We're going to talk about branding, how you can take something so obscure and put it and make it to become this shining light, this thing that can become incredible and pull people to you. So please, guys, it's an honor to be with you guys this afternoon. So do share the stream. Do share the stream. Let's get the numbers up. Let's get the numbers up before I bring my guests on board. Listen, you remember our objective. Our objective is to educate people on entrepreneurship, educate them on cryptocurrencies and the blockchain because it's a sector that we know is going to redefine the 21st century. We talk about money, how to make it, how to keep it, how to grow it. We also talk about different strategies in business and in success. So today, I'll be bringing somebody on board whom I have a lot of respect for. I follow his work incredibly well. He's doing incredible things in a country where most people would typically not want to be associated to what he's doing. But he's taken that on board. He's transformed it, and he's made it to become a money making opportunity. He's transformed it into something that makes money, but not just that. He empowers others. He gives others the opportunity as well to grow. He coaches others. He mentors others, and I believe he's done incredibly well. So I think Anti-Felicia is going to love this. I know. I don't know where she got that, to be honest with you, but that's one of the questions we're going to ask him today. Please do share the stream. Do share the stream. And let us know where you're watching from. Bonnie, I can see you're watching us from the US. You're welcome. Good morning to you, or is it early afternoon for you? Do share the stream. Let's get many more people on board. Let us know where you're watching us from. I see somebody from Ghana. Good to have you. Good to have you. We are going to introduce you to one of our comedians today from Cameroon, so you can tell your fellow Ghanaians so they can, bring him on board as well. All right, guys, it's good to have you guys. Please do share the stream. Let's get the numbers up, much more. Let's get the numbers up. Do share the stream. If you haven't shared the stream, please, help us share the stream. Let's get many on board. You don't want to miss. You don't want your family to miss this. If you have that one particular auntie, you need to send you need to send this stream to that auntie of yours. Because I have one of my aunties, and every time I look at Auntie Feli, it reminds me of that particular one. So I sent her the link and I told her you need to watch this stream today. But hey, guys, share the stream, share the stream. Let's get some of the numbers up again. Now we're going to take 30 seconds, and then when we come back, I'm going to introduce my guest and I'm going to bring him on board. So stay tuned while you keep sharing the stream, okay? Stay tuned, keep sharing the stream. 30 seconds, I'll be back, and then I'll introduce my guest, and then we begin. All right, welcome back, every single one of you. It's a brilliant afternoon. Today, we are on again with the second episode of our Success Against All Odds. Success Against All Odds. And in this particular series, the objective is to bring to you people whom have made it against all the odds, that look at them, stare them in the face, and say, this is no place for you. So under this, last week we hosted a brilliant guy, Godis Fongwa. This week we are following up, with another gentleman, Kwoh Elonge, aka Anti-Felicia. These are guys that I believe are doing incredible things in an industry or in an environment that is not as welcoming or as conducive as anyone may want it to be, and so I have learned quite a lot from them. They may not even know it, but I always look at the geniality behind every single character. Because in comedy, people don't usually understand and realize how um, strategic you have to be, to make it in comedy. You need to be very brilliant. You need to come up with the jokes, but not just the jokes. You need to be able to find a way to make money out of it. Because every time you make people laugh, they just think like laughter is such a panacea for a lot of diseases. And comedians or people who are so genial in creating things that make us laugh should actually be well rewarded and well paid. So today we've got one of the most successful comedians of our time in Cameroon with us. So I'm going to bring on board my guest. His name is Kwoh Elonge, aka Anti-Felicia. Most people only know him as Anti-Felicia. So I'm going to bring him on board, and he will be sharing with us today his success story and his journey and how he found himself where he is today. So, guys, just bear with me. Trying to get him connected. Seem to be a bit of an issue. Okay, so all right, we're just waiting for Anti-Feli to. Well, sorry, we're waiting for Elonge to join us. But I think just a little, the network is dropping a little bit. He was there, I could see him. He's there somehow. We're going to bring him on board as soon as possible. So, guys, here, listen. Remember our objective. Whatever you're doing, the goal and the motto is do it with a lot of integrity. In business and in entrepreneurship, one of the things that is lacking, especially in businesses across in Africa, like even here in Europe, is it's very difficult for you to find people who do business with integrity. Our motto is very clear: integrity before a profit. Integrity before a profit. So we're not looking to profit off of people without serving them and adding a lot of value to them. All of these that we're doing is absolutely free. We don't charge for this. uh, why? Because it's a way for us as well to give back, to help those who are behind, those who need some of the life success stories and inspiration and motivation from those who have gone ahead to get to where they want to be. So this is why we do this, and we want as many people as possible across Africa and the world to benefit from what we are doing. This is our work. We enjoy doing this, and I believe the guests as well, they enjoy coming on board and sharing their success stories with you, because every single person requires or needs someone to hold them up. Someone, if you have somebody who is holding you up, have someone who is supporting you, it makes it much more easier. This morning I made a short clip that every coin has two sides. Every coin that you see that is legit and accepted as a legal tender has two sides to it. Why? Is because everything in life is two-sided. Even in business as well, failure and success are two sides of the same coin. If you see somebody, I don't know anybody who just woke up one day and is very successful, very well renowned. I don't know anyone, So it is the failures that make us, or that inspire us, the failures of the people that have gone through the challenges. They battled all manners of things. They faced the fire. They faced all manners of obstacles and challenges, and eventually emerged successful. These are the stories of the people that inspire us. You see, these are the stories of the people that inspire us. And today, I'm going to bring on board one of such person, Kwoh Elonge, aka Anti-Felicia, who will be sharing with us how he, in an environment, has been able to turn this around for himself. So I'm going to bring him on board right now. And hey, how you doing?
Hey, hey.
Good to
Sorry, I
finally
don't know. I look a little bit blurry, but I don't know why. So probably
How have you been, man? How have you been?
no, I've been great. I've been great. Just a cold, but fine.
Oh, sorry about that, man. Like it's great to have you. I appreciate you taking our time. I know you're very, very busy and you've got a very hectic, schedule. But listen, man, I
Thank you
think
for having me.
I think the guys have been waiting to have you on board, to share your story with them. And guys, listen, his name is Kwoh Elonge. I know maybe some of you don't even know him by his name. Most people only know him. Most people only know you as Anti-Felicia.
True.
But before we begin, I just want you to tell us briefly about yourself, what you're doing, what you're into right now. Just tell us briefly about yourself before we go into some of the incredible work that you've been doing.
Okay, so I'm Kwoh Elonge. I'm a writer. I'm a researcher, journalist, and now comedian. Um, yeah, so as a researcher, I'm a PhD student of educational psychology,
Okay.
um, which is the first thing for me. I studied journalism from undergraduate right up to the master's, and then I switched to educational psychology because I had some work that was linked to that.
Right.
Um, uh, yeah, as a journalist, I've worked as a journalist virtually all my life. I worked as the bureau head for communication for Elections Cameroon,
Wow.
and and now I worked with the Southwest Regional Assembly as head of communication. So I think briefly that's it. In my downtime, I Googled Beyonce and Christopher Hitchens.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. Most people don't even know the things that you're doing. Like they
Yes.
don't know the work that you're doing in the background, but they only know you on your comedic side.
Yeah.
Guys, there is something, sometimes it's good to have a talent. It's good to be good at something. But if you have a talent and you cannot commercialize that talent, man, you will suffer. You will suffer. And that is not the case with our guest today. Now, one question that has been on the mind of so many people, and even as I've been posting this, people texting me, they want to know, where on earth did you come up with the name Anti-Felicia? Like, for your,
Oh God. So
because it's like, why did you not call it Auntie Julie or Auntie Agi? Why Felicia?
so coincidentally, my mom's name is Auntie Julie. So yeah, so I would
Okay.
have gone with that because in many ways, it's hard. In many
Yeah.
ways, this is like I borrowed the expressions from
Yeah.
her mainly and from
Right.
female. So she's like 60% the muse behind the character.
I see.
So when when I was looking for sorry when I was looking for a name for the character, it was quite arbitrary. I was really looking for it was just about the ring. So I wanted something that when you hear, you're like, this could be trouble,
Yeah.
this could be fun. And I was just looking at names that had a ring to it, and I went with Mispa. I think Mispa wasn't the first name I tried. It was supposed to be Anti Mispa, but it did
Right.
not seem like it not spell out enough trouble. It did not- so and I went with I went with Felicia, and Fascinatingly, I have about 2 Felicias in my life,
Right.
and these are very cool people. And one of them was asking me, "Is this what you think of me?" Yeah, so it's quite random, but I think it's the most fitting name that I could get for her. Yeah, so
Right.
I like it now.
It's a brilliant name. Like before you came on, one of our viewers from the US, he was asking, it's like, where did you come up with the outfit? It's like you could not just give Auntie Feli Kaba and leave it at Kaba. You had to give Auntie Feli this wonderful wrapper with this funny blouse and her
Uh, first, I should say that that's a fashion statement. You
I
cannot question
know.
Auntie Felice.
Yes.
Felice, a fashion choice. She's a dope lady. Yeah, she
Yes.
understands fashion. So that's why, from her kinky hair, her water wave, to
Yes.
her blouse and everything, she dresses to kill. but I think when I wanted to do this, I went to the market. This is a very interesting story because I went to the market and I wasn't looking for something very glamorous.
Right.
So I wanted something very simple. I also wasn't looking for that blouse. So when I went there, I met this lady. I went with my closest friend, Joan Gumba. So she took me to where they sell female secondhand things, and I went there,
Yeah.
and this mother was selling, and it's somebody who Joan buys from. And when I was looking at, they were giving me some glamorous gowns and glamorous blouses, and I was like, no, this is not it. So
Yeah.
once I got that one, I held up, I was like, this is Anti-Felicia. And the lady was looking at me and she was like, what? I said, yes, this is what I want. And then she was like, okay, don't pay.
Yes.
So she told me not to pay. But strangely, when she asked what I wanted to do, I said, no, I want to start my comedy, and this is what I want to. This I want to use it for so and so. And she was like, okay, whatever you are using it for, I wish you the best. So she eventually just blessed me there.
Wow.
Yeah, and I did not take it very serious. I thought it was just a random person speaking, but the
Hmm.
results now, and that she actually
Wow.
meant what she was saying.
She
Yeah,
did.
so I've had the opportunity of, with the success that we've had now, I've had the opportunity of going back to her to show
Right.
her some appreciation, and she was so happy because she's like, she is the brain behind this character. Yeah.
that
So I
that
went to the market to visit her, which was a very risky thing because I really cannot work in the market. Like it's impossible now. So I had like a face mask,
right.
big sunshades, and a cap. And then by the time I got to her, she just saw it. She was like, "Auntie Felicia," she was shouting.
Oh,
The entire market just surrounded me.
oh, that's
Yeah.
an incredible story. One thing as well, like I wanted you to talk about is most people only relate to the comedic side of you,
Yes.
but the reason why I actually was interested in having you on was because to be able to create such a character as Auntie Felicia, it requires a lot of entrepreneurial thinking, because you created Auntie Feli out of nothing. You literally created a different, a separate entity, and that is branding. Very few people can brand in such a manner. Where did that come from? Because somebody listening now, they may be thinking about how to brand their product, how to brand themselves. What would you say to such a person? Like, how would they brand themselves to stand out? Regardless of the nuances around such a character like Antifeli.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. Um, uh, the first thing I'll say is this is a mix of, as you rightly say, branding, but also of creativity and studies.
Yes.
Studies now, not in terms of formal education, but just studying society. So I'm a student of society. Perhaps that's why I'm a writer. Um,
Mm.
when I studied, I realized that there was a niche, that there was something which was lacking in our comedy. Not that the comedy was not funny, but that it did not have range. that we did not have enough comedians who were doing things which were cross-generational and which could be marketed in ways that the comedy can be sustainable. By sustainability now, it's financial sustainability. And so I was thinking of, when I was thinking of a character, I was thinking of what character do you know in our families that has appeal across gender and across age groups? And I'm like, it can only be a mother, you know.
Yes.
We all love our mothers, we love our aunts, you know, they give us headaches. But also we know that they love us the most.
Yes.
You know, so they sacrifice a lot and everything, and they are really complex and just beautiful to look at. And so when I was thinking of this character, I was like, you know, I was looking at it and I was like, society would embrace this. In that they'll be able to see the women in their lives through this character. This article, let me just say, is not a representation of all women.
Yeah.
At all. I wasn't trying to do that, because who can really do that? You can only create a caricature if you try to do that. So that's why it's fashioned after some of the women whom I've interacted with, starting with my mother. But there are characteristics in the character that you know that are generalizable. You know, so that was what I was going for. And so when I went for the character, I realized that this character could be cross-generational. It could go, all the genders could identify with the character in various ways. And I felt that it could be marketed. It could be marketed. That you could see, I was imagining, I remember there was a time I wanted to sell puff puff. Somebody gave me a puff puff mix to sell. So it's a product that was packaged. And I was like, you know, as Kwoh Elonge, if I hold this puff puff mix, however credible I am, and say, oh, buy this puff puff mix, people will not really go for it. But imagine your mom saying, this puff puff, now bring my, now raise them, picking them, you know, this and that, you know. That would immediately make a sale. Like you as a guy, you can identify, you know, your mom would only recommend what is good and all of that. So once I did that, I started creating the character and developing the character, gave the character three-dimensionality, because I never wanted to create a caricature. My observation had been that when comedians or people just try to represent women, they did not, especially men, they did not go the full length. Like they were afraid of society's judgment on them, like the judgment that you are going overboard, you're trying to change gender. And in many ways, I also knew that it was something sexist, in that I know if this was done by a woman playing a male role, you're like, oh, she's cool.
Yeah,
she's
it's okay.
Cool. But it's okay. But if you do it as a guy, then there are all of these perceptions and presuppositions that come with it. And so it was also something that I had to do briefly. I had to be strong.
Yes.
Because when I did the first, I remember when I did the first skit, and people were like, this is very good acting. But then there were those who were writing like, this man was being a pity. And my girlfriend was around me, and she was the one who was telling me, like, calm down, it's not that serious, calm down. So I almost, but then I think I had a good support system, and that's so it was fine. Yeah, it's now fine. Like
that was definitely going to be the question I was going to ask you, because you live in a society where people are even kind of aggressive towards cross-dressing.
Yes.
Especially if it's a man, you know, that is cross-dressing as a woman. And there is always this misconception that if you're doing it, then you're gay. You know.
Yes.
I was going to ask you, how did you handle the storm of that story? Because I know it should have been something, you know, for you to handle.
Yeah.
How did you handle that?
Oh God, you don't know. So when I created the character,
maybe God helped you because you had a girlfriend already.
Oh, but people don't know. People don't know, and I don't think having a girlfriend stops you from being gay. So that too was there. But then in my mind, it was I think when I got the criticism, it was that the support was overwhelming.
Right.
When I remember when I began getting so it was like a tectonic shift in the way people reacted to it. So I started getting people from the diaspora, especially, and older women reaching out to me. People who would ideally not even be on Facebook, on social media
Right.
interacting. So it was people like Professor Joyce Ashutanta, people like Professor Beatrice Titanji, and all of these women who are excellence personified, who have very high taste, who would think they have education and exposure would give them very high taste in what they want to consume. And so when people like that began writing to me and telling me, oh, you're making me to come on social media and you are relieving all my stress. Dr. Tanji wrote to me and told me she was recuperating from surgery, and she was telling me, oh, I use Anti-Felicia to recuperate.
Wow.
And all of these women, and I remember this is in America, the owner of Stevens Music, for which Daphne is signed. His elder brother was life support, and he reached out to me and he told me, oh, I need you to do this favor for me. My elder brother is virtually dying, but on his bed, what he watches is Anti-Felicia.
Wow.
And this is somebody who has been CEO of some of the top companies in Cameroon, and he watches Anti-Felicia and he feels that way, and he's like, I think this is one of his dreams, to actually talk to Anti-Felicia. And he brought the entire family around the hospital bed, and they were all fans. And when I spoke to his brother, his elder brother, and I felt the way he lit up, like how happy he was. For a man of about 60-something years, educated, accomplished, well-traveled, to be that type of a fan, I did not really care again what anybody had to say about the cross-dressing and all of that. The second thing is, I knew deep within me that I wasn't trying to set an agenda about cross-dressing.
Right.
And I knew that the character Anti-Felicia could not inspire anybody to want to cross-dress, because Anti-Felicia is not a glamorous lady. The psychology behind cross-dressing, it's glamour. When you see the cross-dressers, they want to actually look beautiful, want to look like a young, youthful woman with all the trappings of beauty and everything, makeup and all that. If you watch Anti-Felicia and want to dress like Anti-Felicia, you are not a cross-dresser, you're just weird. Yeah, so I was like, okay, so the argument about cross-dressing would not hold. And this is just for comedy. I think what was shocking to a lot of people is the ease with which I did it.
Yes.
I think that's what was really shocking to some people. Yeah. So they had to come up with all these conclusions. But again, I have a very strong support system. Strangely, my girlfriend shoots some of the videos. So she's behind the camera and she's like, no, you don't really make your hand fine. Yeah.
That's incredible. Like, that story you mentioned is, one of the main reasons why I do believe that comedians deserve, a lot more support that they're actually getting, because somebody that is sick and is like on life support and you can make them laugh, just that little jolt of energy that comes in them,
Absolutely.
can give them an extra ounce of energy to desire to live.
Yes.
And
And I think you're right. I also think that we have the tendency of focusing on all the naysayers and really forget about those who receive strength and are inspired by what you're doing. So I think I've grown to know that not everybody will like what you're doing. Aesthetically, some people don't just find it pleasing that a guy would cross-dress, even if it's for comedy. They don't just like. For such people, there is nothing I can really do. So I've learned in life to just deal with the things which I cannot change. If I cannot change your mind, I cannot change your mind. But I'm much more focused on the people who love it, who are appreciative of the effort, who see what we are doing, who see how we are able to make an impact. And with Anti-Felicia, we've used it for digital literacy in partnership with the US Embassy. We've used it to create albinism awareness with the Canadian High Commission in Cameroon. We've used it with Canabilities and the UN to create awareness on autism. We've had a lot of these campaigns
Yeah.
that these international organizations and bodies thought that the persona that had been created would be
Yeah.
effective to communicate. And the reactions that we got show that it has been very, very impactful in terms of educating, in terms of changing perceptions about
Mm.
especially stereotypes. And so to me, those are the works which I am so proud of,
Yeah.
as both as Elonge as Anti-Felicia, that I have not used this to trivialize to in a trivial way. I've used it
Mm.
to uplift. I am
Yeah.
still using it to uplift. I am not using it to create caricatures or
Yeah.
stereotypes. No, that's
Yeah.
not what I'm going for. So whenever I have the opportunity to empower, that's what we do. In partnership with the US association called CAMWAC, we are raising awareness on domestic violence and emergency
Mm.
lines for contacts for women who are going through abuse and young girls who are going through abuse, empowering them. So I take this very seriously. When I started, this was a joke. It was a joke
Yeah.
that became comedy. To me, it's now evangelism. It's very important.
Right. Right. I like that. I like that. It's become evangelism. You know, you made
Yes,
you said something there that really caught me, because you're now involved in quite a few things, creating all of this awareness, helping to break some of the stereotypes that we have in Africa. But you said that you had learned to deal and accept that not everyone is going to like you, because in
yes,
in business or in entrepreneurship and in life, I think one of the things that scare people is, what will people think of me? What would they
absolutely,
say about me? And this paralyzes
absolutely.
them, and so I just wanted to pick on that, and so that the people should understand, like, you need to have a thick skin in in
Yes.
whatever you're
Oh,
doing.
yes. Oh,
you,
yes.
you
Oh,
need to have a
yes.
thick
You,
skin, because regardless of what you
you,
do.
you need you need to. And as a comedian, you actually, it's fascinating to me when people even reach out to me and like, so sometimes people write these lengthy articles. I remember about 2 days back, somebody tweeted something and said Anti-Felicia is a media calamity. That it's a travesty. That's what the person used. Like, it's a travesty to comedy, and that Cameroon comedy was in the trenches partly because of Anti-Felicia. So once the thing was sent to me, I usually don't go online to read those type of things, but it was
Yeah.
sent to me directly. And when I read it, I was laughing. And then my friend was like, "Why are you laughing? Is this funny?" I said, "No, I love the way he puts his language."
Yes. The words.
I was like, "That's what you're thinking." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, what do you want to do? If he feels that way, he feels that way.
That's
It's
right.
like putting out a product. If one doesn't like it, don't like it.
Like it.
But
That's
then you don't judge. There wasn't much detail given as to why they did not like it. The
mm,
detail that was given was I cross-dressed, and so for such a person, the person does not have the time to even listen to the comedy
yeah.
when aesthetically the person doesn't even find cross-dressing appealing. And
Yeah.
so that is not my audience. So I
Yeah.
deal with that and I'm fine with it. And sometimes I tell people I can be very sarcastic too, and I am very opinionated. So I tell people,
Yes.
these people do this thing to annoy me, but I credit my long life to that daily infusion of annoyance.
That's a good reverse psychology, like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's incredible. That's incredible. It's an incredible mindset, because whatever you do, people will always criticize you. I remember, like, I was just getting involved in money management, like back in 2013. Then by 2014, we had this massive drawdown. We lost, like, 200 and something thousand pounds, and
oh,
a lot of things just started, and we had to declare insolvent. And so these articles, like this so-called
yes,
paparazzi, or man, this tabloid,
blogs and all of that.
tabloids picked up on the story about me, and they will write these ridiculous things about me. I will look at it, man, like, and I'm serious. Like, you don't want British tabloid to be on your case. They are
I can
very
imagine.
vicious. They are vicious. I'm
Oh,
telling
God.
you, And some will call me and just ask me one funny question. And then I would just like imagine somebody just calls you and asks you, like, are you Gerald Chatu Etanga? I'm like, yes, I am. It's like, are you the one involved in the GEC insolvency case? I'm like, yes, I am. And that's it. And then the next day you see an article, oh, we contacted Gerald Chatu Etanga Young and he said this.
Oh God! Oh
I'm like,
God!
oh my God.
Oh God! So you see, you have to have a thick skin.
Yes.
You have to choose not to be easily incensed by those things. Yes.
I'm just saying that because I've been there, I felt the pinch, of tabloids, of people,
Yes.
or
I can
journalists.
imagine. I also have to do with finance, money.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Yeah, with money. It was not a small amount of
No.
money, It was a decent amount of money, And
Money,
so
yes.
it was such a moment, but it was from that time as well that it's such the experience helped to develop the character in me
Yes.
and the thick skin.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying
Absolutely. It's quite a teaching moment when you go through things like that. I actually am always. I don't think we've gotten to the point where we are even receiving the kind of criticisms that could come. So to me, it's like bigger things. As you get bigger and you expand, you should be ready for it. Yes, you should be ready. You have to have a winner's mindset, and you cannot play the victim. You cannot play the victim. You don't expect people to understand. Just be about it. Once you have be about it, don't make excuses. Do not think that people do not feel entitled that people have to support you or like what you're doing. Yes. Once you do that, you manage expectations.
Yes. You manage your own expectations as well. Because sometimes
yes, exactly.
Sometimes people don't know how to manage their expectations. They can manage other people's expectations, but not theirs.
Yeah. Oh God. So let me just add this.
Yeah.
When I started, I felt that this would be. I thought I had a good product because I felt like I'd spent time to develop the product.
Yeah.
But I was looking at the growth of the product and the environment in which we are, and look at products like this which have been good. What has been their growth trajectory? And we can measure it. There are KPIs that we can use to measure growth for things we do like that. For example, followership and interaction.
Yeah.
That's one that you can use. And I had in mind that if I can, so I have set targets, and the target was if I could clock 12,000 followers in a 24,000 followers in a year, then this is a success, which means I'm averaging 2,000 followers a month. This will be a success. And this is inspired by the trajectory of every other person who is in the liberal arts entertainment who have been successful, their own growth.
Yeah.
And so when in the first month I was getting 7,000, I was like, oh, this is something. Yeah. And then in like 10 weeks, I was at 25,000.
Wow.
I was like, oh, well, in 10 weeks, I surpassed my, my expectations, beat all exactly. And so I was looking at the elements of the product that were really appealing. Yes. It's kind of analytics. Yes. So I would go through my social media analytics page. Yeah. Because I am 100% organic. Anti-Felicia is 100% organic. There is no sponsored post, no boosting, nothing. Yeah. So I will go through that. And I decided to keep it that way because I wanted to study the trend. Yeah. So I'll look at what are those things. So I'll look at the minutes that people watch the skits and why they watched it. Where were the peak.
Hello, guys. Apologies for that interruption. Probably something happened with the call or something.
Yeah. Great. So when I went through that, it helped me to pick out the elements that should be integrated more in the work I'm doing. So there was a lot of intention in what was being done. So it was like studying audience interest and making sure that we tailor these towards them.
Right.
Yes, so that's how
Guys,
we're developing we consider Anti-Felicia as a product. So
it is.
developing that product.
Yeah. Because that is, I just wanted to pick up on that, because sometimes like people are not that intentional about what they're doing,
Yes,
especially on social
yes,
media. Some people just post. They don't even look at the statistics, to see
yes,
like which one is doing well. And that's something that I've been studying quite a bit as well, just to see. Because if
yes,
you every product that you put out in the market, you need to study and see, what is it doing, how is it doing, why is it maybe performing better at certain times, at certain points, much more
yes,
than others, and then you can capitalize on that.
yes,
And that is definitely
yes,
a very good, one of the strategies that can actually help people grow. Because social media, and this is one thing I wanted to ask you, to shed some light on how you're using social media to grow your brand. Because social media is a
yes,
free tool, and you can, if you know how to use it, you can actually use it to grow your brand, void of any ad, spending on adverts and things like that. How are you using it?
yes,
Like, just to add more light on it, like, maybe give some of
yes.
the guys a bit of tips of what you use, how you're using it, to grow the brand, which, and the product, which is Anti-Feli in this case.
Yes. So I think the first thing which we must emphasize is that when creating anything Anti-Feli, we think first of quality than virality.
Right.
We are not necessarily looking for something that will go viral, but something that has real quality and impact. We are not looking
Mhm.
for popularity things,
Right.
because virality will not necessarily lead to you being sustainable.
Yeah.
You can do shock value and go viral, and
Yeah.
it doesn't mean the brand will be sustainable. So first, we're looking at the quality of the content we are putting out to make
Okay.
sure that it was for the what we're doing, it was clean, in that it was rid of vulgarity,
Yeah.
that it wasn't something that would be jarring to particular demographics, in
Mhm.
terms of language and exposure. So the character is not sexualized in any way, because we want people to relate to it easily.
Yeah.
The next thing that I would advise is about consistency. Once you have the attention of people, you must be consistent.
Yeah.
For me particularly, what I had to do was build a team, because though Anti-Feli is a face, you need a strong team behind you. You cannot come up with all these ideas and all these scenarios alone. You cannot do it. At one point, you reach a creative block. And
Yeah.
so, for me, and I did not just select people, it was, you must be smarter than me in what I'm getting you to do for the team.
Mm.
So everybody who is part of Anti-Feli's team must be smarter. I don't want anybody who I can do what you can do, perhaps
Yeah.
better than you.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
nobody. If you see the team, you see the people. I can give you an example. For writing, we have Howard Maximus. Howard is an award-winning writer. He's in America, Cameroonian. He won the biggest writing competition on the continent, Miles Morland. That's
Mm.
about 16 million francs, which he won. He's the first Cameroonian to ever win. Uh, he's won Afritondo this year, which is also a very big deal. And so you can see it. I just give you that to tell you the caliber
Yeah.
of people that
Yeah.
we are working with. We've been working, for example, on Anti-Feli, the movie, which is an
Right.
exclusive for you here.
Yes. I
And
was
also
going to ask
working.
you down the line, but thanks for the preview.
Yes, and we're also working on the series, and we're working on the tour. So it's a lot of thinking. We have a plan. We say, okay, 2 years from now, where will this be? Do we want
Yeah.
to keep producing skits online and all of that? What is the growth trajectory that we envisage for this?
Mm.
Because if you continue putting out skits, people would reach satiety. Like, they'll get tired, and utility starts dropping, because
Yeah.
it starts seeming repetitive. So what
Yeah.
is it that we can do to scale up the product and the brand and all of that? So that is it. The third thing is also listening to feedback. Feedback is so important. It is not the type of feedback that says, must you cross dress to do comedy, because that one is somebody who cannot be helped. I'm already
Yeah.
doing cross-dressing comedy, which means it's cross-dressing.
Yeah.
So a person who is concerned about the aesthetics is not one of the people that we are really worried about. But feedback is from the people who have something to say about it. Maybe they are talking about the sound. Maybe they are talking about camera angle. Maybe they are talking, some people told me, I remember making a statement, and this person was like, while your intention might not have been this, I think that in doing this, you are creating stereotypes about this. You know, those are the type of things which we want
Yeah.
we are taking into consideration. The type of constructive criticism that can make the product better.
Right.
Thank God, electricity is back. Oh. We are catching up with. Oh, it's gone again. We are catching up with international standards. I thought we were catching up with UK. It went back so quickly. Yes, but that is it. And then part of feedback is also going through the analytics, which is
Yeah.
what the social media platform gives you. We go through the analytics. In fact, let me give you an interesting scenario. So I'm brand ambassador for Your Farm, which is a kind of telemedicine pharmaceutical app.
Yeah.
And when they reached out to us, and we did the first work with them, we wanted to, we were working with them to get, because the KPI, which I was asking them, what are your KPIs to know that this campaign is working?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that we came up with the fact that it should be downloads, the number of downloads, installations that you will get
Yeah.
for the, and we also said we should look at awareness. I was emphasizing, because you know, when you put out a product, there is, you live from awareness to knowledge to attitudinal change to practice. So you have to know that awareness is a very important stage in your product life cycle. The fact that you put out a product does not mean people will start using it immediately. So that awareness and knowledge about the product is very important. So we're looking at all of those things. And we realized that in a day, we had 1,726 downloads.
Wow.
Of the app. It was unprecedented. They had not achieved that even with billboards. You see, so we're able to now study and start seeing what were the key things about our messaging that made this so appealing.
Yeah.
So we're looking at that. We even did other things. I used to do this where I put a post and I was like, what do you like about Your Farm? So audience are telling us these features that they like, and we give this feedback to the client, and are able to also optimize and build better on. And so this feedback that we get, whether it's analytics or is with business to business feedback, or with the audience, is very important in how we build the brand, how we strategize, and where we are now. Yes.
Thank you very much for that, because like I just want to recap that so you guys understand. The first thing you spoke about was quality. You know, it's not just about virality, it's about quality. You need to be consistent in your brand and the work that you're doing, because it's very important. And you also need to build a solid team. Not just any kind of team, a team of smart people, you know, people who are smarter than you. You definitely need that. And finally, you need feedback. And it's not just for you to take the feedback and sit on it. When you take the feedback, you look at, you know, how constructive it is and how you can, you know, you can use it to improve the product. And by so doing, definitely you keep growing your brand. I really, really like that. And all of these that you've touched, they are very, very important. And I just want to say thank you for that. And I also was going to, I know you already slightly mentioned something, because I wanted to ask you, what can the audience be expecting to see from you and your team? Because you created incredible, you know, something incredible, something that everybody likes and people love. It cuts across the corporate world, you know, social strata, gender, and things like that. So there is a lot of anticipation and expectation now for Anti-Felicia, because everybody wants to see something incredible. So what can we expect?
Yes. Okay. So there is so much to expect. Let me just throw this in. I'd also noticed this from a personal point, personal observation of Kwoh Elonge and Anti-Felicia, that the qualities of Kwoh Elonge has helped Anti-Felicia a lot.
Yeah.
So there was a not misperception, but it was like a prevailing perception that comedians were people who were not educated,
Yeah.
school dropouts who just find who need money and they just dive into this. The first thing
Yes.
is I did not get into comedy because I needed money, because I have a good paying job and
Mm.
all of that. So that it wasn't because I was desperate. I had a skill, I had a talent which I felt that it was necessary for me to put out there. And I wanted to put out in a way that was sustainable. What my education and personal branding as Kwoh Elonge has done is that it has made the corporate world to take what I do as Anti-Felicia seriously. Because I realized that when I go for meetings, corporate meetings or business meetings, the people are always positively surprised
Yes.
at the depth of knowledge that I am able to, and the discussions that I can engage in.
Mm.
And so they are like, oh wow, society likes that. They
Yeah.
like they like they like that. Yes, people want to feel like their brands are in the right hands. Their products are in the right hand. That this person understands business
Yeah.
and also has values. I think that at the centerpiece of me has always been integrity and value.
Mm.
That I am very proud of. That I have managed to keep it that way. The people whom we've worked with, we've always delivered. And when we have failed, we have made sure that we make up for it 200%.
Right.
So it is. We've always done like customer recovery. I've been sick for a week, and there were a lot of things which I was supposed to do. And the clients which they are doing paid for, I had to constantly keep in touch with them to tell them about my health,
Yeah.
and we had to come up with how do we make sure that we make these people happy when I get well. It's not just delivering on that, but what extra do we do for them so that they see that
Mm.
we actually wanted to make
Mm.
sure wanted to work with them. So these are the things which the personal brand and the person behind, or the people behind the product, a product which is very interpersonal like ours, the
Mm.
person needs to have that integrity, needs to have values which people can look at and say, oh, I want to work with this
Yeah.
because of its values. I
Yeah.
don't think I'm necessarily the most brilliant comedian, but I think people are drawn to also the value that I project. So I think that I wanted to say, because I think integrity is very important in business.
That is it. Integrity before profit.
Yes.
That's my motto. Like I really wanted to commend you for that, because we could have canceled this, because you're not feeling too great, but you kept to it.
Yes.
And that is something
Yes.
that is, in our today's society, people always want to use it as an excuse not to do something, and especially like
Yes.
working with clients, I know, because, and this is one thing I tell people, because I have people that come to me, maybe because clients are chasing them for money, maybe they messed up somehow, and they were not able to deliver, and they're kind of like what they want to run away, from the clients. And the thing I tell them is this: if you do that, you're ruining your reputation, because these people came to you
Yes.
because they trusted you, they believed in you,
Yes.
and so, right,
Yes.
face them, explain to them, that you're not able because of this, because of that. People will always understand,
Yes.
and they will always back you up and stand with you if you have the decency to not
Yes.
disrespect them, by not maybe picking up their calls or running away or shying away.
Yes.
And that is one of the
Yes.
things that I truly want to commend you for, because you said something which is very, very important. You spoke about integrity, and making sure that once you're able to, you deliver 200%. Because like in
Yes.
Cameroon, like I've got quite a lot of things going on, in Cameroon and a few other African countries. One of the things that I find it very difficult, and very, the thing that will actually, that makes it difficult for people to do business in Africa in general, is that people
Yes.
always tend to want to, do bare minimum for what you've paid them to do, and they
Yes.
don't want to
Yes.
take responsibility, for not doing it, and they lie a lot, and you can see through the lies that they're actually lying, you know. And so
Mhm.
that is one of the things that, like, for the people who follow me, I always stress on this. Integrity should always come before profit. I know, because, like,
Absolutely.
there will be times you will be down. You're not always going
Yes.
to be up. But because of the
And
integrity,
let me just give you an anecdote.
yes,
So this is 8 days down. I can't do anything. I'm just beginning to recuperate, and okay, I want to get to that place where I can actually deliver perfectly. And strangely, because I kept in contact with all of these clients, some I said, oh, I know maybe we are working with deadlines. Can I do a full refund, so that you can carry on with other activities? And trust me, I had about 7 of them, and all of them were like, no, get well, don't bother, get well. And
you see,
so you just that openness, and made them feel like, no, we can work with you. It
yeah.
wasn't it wasn't it wasn't a deal breaker for
Mm,
them. They are able to bend over backwards to accommodate that because they feel that you've been open and transparent with
yes.
them.
Yes, and
Yeah.
and that is one, like, honestly, from my heart, that is
Yeah.
one key that will keep you in business. From experience, that is one key
Yes.
that will keep you in business, because I can imagine, like, I've been a client, I've been an investor, I've seen so many things. The one thing that puts me off is, if you're not able, just simply tell me that you're not able, and give me a
Yes.
reason why. And when you tell me you will be able to do it by this, do it. You know,
Yes.
and most people in Africa, they never want to talk about refunds. I just wanted to
Yes.
that
Yes.
quote. I'm serious. I
Yes.
know most
Yes.
people don't want to talk about refund. You just said something
Yeah.
which tells me that you're doing business with integrity. You see,
Yes.
because they'll always take the money and they'll give the excuse until you take them to court or you take them to the police cell, the money is
Mm.
not going to come out.
Mm.
But just for you
Yes.
being down, you said you offered to give them a full refund. Me, I will not take it.
Yes.
Why? Because I know if you are able to
Yeah.
say it, it means you will do a very good job when you get well and you deliver. And I just wanted the
Yes.
people
Yeah.
listening to take note of this, because it's very, very important in business. Sometimes people blame witches and wizards, go home, disturbing their aunties and uncles and calling them witches and wizards, when it's their
Yes.
attitude, and their character
Yes.
that is causing all the problems.
Yes.
You see. And
True. 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 It's
so,
it's it's actually very frustrating. It's actually very frustrating because in doing business myself, where I contract you to do something for me, what I want is always the openness.
that's
And
right.
so yeah, it's always the openness. Some things are really not deal breakers.
Yeah,
They are not really issues, but we make them issues when we are not open and have frank discussions, and sometimes take the necessary steps. There are people whom we've worked with. I had this client whom I worked with, and the working relationship was festering because so they could not, I would say they could not give clear instructions, or I could not understand their frame of mind as to what they really wanted. And so
right,
we're going constantly back and forth, and we'll do something and it will not be to what their
right,
expectation.
right,
And so after we've done two, I had to, and it wasn't, I was like, okay, see, I want to do a full refund of what we've done. If you want to use it, thank God. If you want to use it, fine. But it's gone again. If you like to use it, fine. But 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 if you would not want to use it, we will still go ahead and do a full refund, because I feel that we are not able to get on board on what is it that you want. And I'm sure that maybe this might instead fester our relationship for
yes,
future work ventures. So I would prefer that I do it for now, that I
mm,
refund these, and then we can, maybe you can seek out some other channel
mm,
that might
yeah.
be able to understand this. And she was like, okay, fine, that's good. And once she said it was good, I was like, can I get your payment details? She said yes. And in the next 2 minutes, she received payment. And then she went to me and said, don't have this was like one white man country. we kept our kind of friendship, at least a
Yeah,
camaraderie, even though we could not work on the project. And she went ahead to recommend me for some other business,
that's right.
you know.
That's right.
So the trust wasn't broken. It
Yes.
was just that we could not capture the vision. And
Yes.
we acknowledged at one point that we could not capture this. And so it would be preferable that we cut our losses, and
Yes.
try something else. And so it worked. I think sometimes people don't realize that sometimes business, sometimes you lose.
Yeah.
Sometimes you lose.
Yeah.
But if you're losing, lose with integrity.
That's right.
Lose with
Yeah.
integrity.
True.
Yes.
True.
Yes, yes.
True.
And so I told her, I think, and I think people should also understand the language of ending those type of business relationships. The language is very important. For me,
Yes.
what I do is I take the blame and
Mm.
I make it to look like it is me who might not be getting exactly the
What
vision
they're saying.
that
Yeah.
you're trying to because I don't want it to make it about you. Because trust me, it might actually be that I'm not understanding you.
Mm-hmm.
So go for what is safer, which is that you might not have
Yeah.
understood the vision. And so maybe we just ended there. And it was fine. We went and we've done so many things after that, things which had nothing to do with business. So yes. But to your question, you asked the question, what are people to expect
Yes.
coming? So we are starting a tour. I will do this fast. We are starting a tour.
Okay.
We did a show already in Cameroon, but this was in partnership, in collaboration with other comedians.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw
That's
that.
Captain Kofi.
Virtuous
So,
women.
yes, the virtuous men presidential debate. We'll also have that will be the HD version will be available on streaming platforms. So we're making the negotiations to get it there, so people in the diaspora especially can stream it. Um, for Anti-Feli, we just finished writing Anti-Feli the movie, and
Nice.
we'll be starting casting in June,
Okay.
and then I'm going on tour in August. I'll start with
Okay.
Dubai. Yeah,
Nice.
starting with Dubai,
Nice.
and we hope to do 3 states in America: Atlanta, Maryland, and Houston, Texas. So we are prioritizing where we have a big Cameroon population.
Hey, what
Um,
about the
so
UK?
that's why yeah. So we are still in talks. It's not just the UK. We want to do some countries in Europe. So
Right.
we are almost closed with Germany, but
Okay.
we are still in talks with some of the people in UK who would like to be sponsors. So baby steps, but we know that we already have Dubai and America too, and the show is already written. So
Right.
that's a beautiful thing.
That's
That
good.
perhaps that's why I had to fall sick. The show is written. Yes, and it's fascinating because sometimes you write your own things. I find it difficult watching myself. So people ask me sometimes, "You go back to watch your skits?" I'm like, I cannot do it.
You should.
But I, I'm reading the script for the show, and I'm cracking up, and that's a very good sign because I don't laugh at my own jokes. So I'm like, but this I'm laughing at it. I'm like, oh, and then we'll be doing how do you call it, like a test run of
Right.
it, two
Yeah.
test runs. So we'll bring an audience. For the first one, we are thinking of 25 people. We'll just take them randomly,
Yeah.
bring
Yeah.
them there of different demographics, and they listen to a free show. This
Yeah.
is not public. That will not be publicized.
Hmm.
So, and then we'll get their reactions, see
Yeah.
what we need to work on, what we have to take out, and then we will do the second one after we've built on the reactions that we got from the first. Then we know we're ready to go for the show.
That's
We're
incredible.
ready to hit the road. Yeah.
That's
So
incredible.
that's it. So from August to December, we are on the road.
That's good.
Yes.
Good. Like, by the way, I
Yeah.
know a guy in showbiz in the UK. If he would help you, so I can link you guys up. Um, he does quite a lot.
Absolutely. My
He
my
does.
entire family, almost my entire family is in the UK.
All right. A
So
second home to
yes, my
you
elder
then.
brother is there. He's been there for long. Patrice Elonge. He too is in finance. So
All right. That's good. That's good.
yes.
Man, it's
Yeah.
been incredible talking to you. But I don't just want to let you go like that. You know, people may want to hear Auntie Felicia say something to them. I know they want to hear that. Yes. So, like,
Oh God.
what can Auntie Felicia say to these people? You know, like, just to the young people.
Uh,
I want Auntie Felicia. I
so,
want,
yes.
advise your children, or advise your
Yes,
children, Auntie Felicia.
yes. So, first of all, I want to thank Una for this opportunity. You know, with a classic auntie, it always been a for the kind of platform that, you know, that thing say that carry their own kind of place, they don't go your canal for go bike, a banga planty for can't traumatize the whole quarter. No, when I auntie day here, I just talk say make I can give una small encouragement. I will keep my trotter sauce. When I already get smell as they come out, nobody already start boiling rice, you can't taste. But I just say make I can meet up una. You see, are there for yet now the kind platform that this way we first of all get to support them. Because now platform the way they get value, you know. Be, you come for some place, you know, say no, you can't sense the BD. They can't place them because Akaro, they don't know one them for the they heaven. You call them for here, they go start now how. So, but when I get the opportunity, week in, every forget this kind wonderful discussion. We better person way the moderator. This one no easy. The one with that top for quarter. Yeah, Carol them say that I don't suspect any that woman born that picky that man. No, the one that way if it raise value, it carry will go far. So make we encourage this. Make we encourage in particular one. And for people the way they want to do things, the way they feel they want to have the feel say this. So people they go talk say this and that and that and that. Una do thing when I want to do them. Una think and find strategize and then tell that people fucking, you know. So, yeah. Oh God.
You got me crying.
Oh God.
I don't know what Dorcas and Carol will say, but
I know. And perhaps let me just add this. I thought I needed to have said this.
yes.
Collaboration has been the key
Yes.
in raising our profiles, because we are able to share our followers. They are able to know about us. Brands sometimes work with us. I remember talking to this person. They say, you know, I want to work with you guys, but I know I can take Caro and your audience will still see this because you guys are always interacting.
Yeah.
So I always tell people we're in competition, not against each other.
Yeah.
They are always here. We come together, we work together. Sometimes they have this person has an idea, and you call the other person like, "How you think say this I feel deliver, or you think I feel right?" You know, it's competition, but it's healthy because we're very different in many ways, and we can encourage one another. So we can all coexist. I tell people we can coexist in the same place. We can all make money. Strangely, Anti-Felicia is a face for black and white, the spirit. Caro and Copies are the face for Guinness, the Guinness, and Dorcas too. And Richard is for Malta Guinness. Right. So you see that we are all in the Guinness family, representing different brands within Guinness. So I mean, we are not really fighting each other.
No. I think that is just something like I really wanted to commend. You know, I was speaking to Godis as well because, and like he and I were speaking privately, and he was telling me like, you know, how you guys are, you know, you work together, you're all friends, and it's such a thing that you rarely see. And this is one thing I like about Cameroonian comedy industry. It's a bit different. Like you guys work so closely, and though you do individual stand-ups, but you've also got avenues to merge together and grow together. And that is just that is something which, you know, really, you know, strikes me. And I wanted to ask you, even as we are coming to an end, like, what would you advise, you know, young people to do? Because sometimes people see competition as a bad thing, but I don't see it as a bad thing. Like, what would you?
I think first, if without competition, you are gearing to fail. I just think that because then there is this liturgy that comes, there is this comfort that you sit in that you are unable to create because you think that you think you are the thing.
Yeah.
You think you think you're the happening thing. The thing about competition is it makes you better.
Yeah.
It makes you better. And competition can only be useful to you if you respect the craft of the others, which means you
Yeah.
see it and you are able to see that you see value and you're able to see the talent and the skill that is there, and
Right.
not see it as something which is trampling over yours. Because
Mm.
once you're able to see that, oh God, this is coming up with this new angle and it's working and he's doing such a great job, his production is getting better,
Yeah.
then you want to scale up. So you also want to
Yeah.
be better because you want to match up. You want to even take it higher. And
Yeah.
so the competition is there as a push factor
Mm.
to help you, get better in what you're doing. I would not be as good as I think Anti-Felicia is if I did not have the competition from Caro, from Dorcas,
Yeah.
because I look at what they're doing, I'll watch this kid and I will laugh, I will send back to them like, hey, this one almost killed me, this one almost killed me, But
Yeah.
I'm coming from a place where I'm like, it is a kind of positive envy
Yes.
of, oh, I want to do this. I want to also make sure that my comedy can have this effect on that.
Mm.
And truly, once you respect the other person, the other competitor, you are able to see what is it that they are doing that can get you up there too. When
Mm.
I got into comedy, they were the ones I had to look. I've been in comedy for 6 months. So all of these people,
Really?
Godis, Caro and Copies, yeah, and Dorcas, have been there for years and they've done so much work. Their CV is very long. So I'm looking at what they are doing. I'm like, oh, this is it. This is it. This is it. This is what I want to also do. So they pull me up. Yes, because when I look at their standards, I'm like, okay, this. And I think that in many ways, me getting into the scene has also made them to sit up. I'm
Yeah.
like, the new kid in the blog is
Yeah.
something. So,
Yeah. Yeah. See,
yes,
man, like
yeah,
I really, really like that. One thing I want to ask, like, how can people support you? Because to me, I believe like what you guys are doing is incredible. And
yeah,
obviously, our platform is about encouraging entrepreneurship, encouraging what
yeah,
people are doing that adds value to society, that elevates others and encourages others to believe in themselves and go after their dreams and pursue their dreams. And one of the ways that happens is if we can support you and the people can support you. So how would you want to be supported, on this journey? I'm actually like very amazed that you've been in comedy just for around like 6 months, you said.
6 months.
That's
Yes, yes.
that's
I think
incredible.
people look at it and think I've been there,
Mhm.
but it's just 6 months.
Wow.
That's why we are really impressed by the reception that it's gotten. Let me first of all say for those who are watching, because I'm sure there might be people who have been there, that the support we've already received has been overwhelming.
Mm.
Whether it's just because if we are able to have some of the deals we have, it's because of the people following and sharing, and making and getting others to believe in this and just follow us. So for that, we are very grateful. Even the ventures we are trying to embark on is just support, especially diaspora support. Like
Yeah.
we live on diaspora support. When I started this, I had just my phone camera and ideas,
Right.
nothing else. And now we have equipment and we are able to shoot and do different things. So it's support. What my first plea is that when you go to the Anti-Felicia page, there is almost always a cause that you can support. We are very particular about the causes like the ones that have to do with women empowerment.
Hmm.
These things Anti-Felicia usually puts make the effort to put them out there because these people need support a lot. We have stories of women who are going through hell caused by the crisis, especially in
Mm.
Cameroon, Anglophone Cameroon. And so when you go to the page and you see us do some of these calls from organizations. We don't run as an organization that collects money to support, but we partner with these organizations that you can reach out, and we shine a light on their activities. We want to plead that people can contact those organizations that touch them, whether it's organizations that deal with autism, that deal with albinism, that have to do with women empowerment and the girl child. You know, you can go there and support them. If you want to support Anti-Felicia Comedy, we have all of our details, numbers, contact numbers, email, and we are very accessible. You can just reach us directly. But at the most, we are really pleading that you go to those organizations that we advertise their work and we advocate for their work. There is Better Breed, there is Calm Work. These people have been doing tremendous work. You know, the work that as a society we are supposed to come together and do, they've taken upon themselves. So I am pleading, both as Elonge and as Anti-Felicia, that if we can support the work of these organizations, it's also supporting Anti-Felicia.
Okay, that's I like charity. You never go wrong with charity. You can never.
No, never.
So
never.
Definitely, man. It was awesome having you today. And before you go, I have to ask this.
Yeah.
You know, before you go, I know I keep saying before you go. You know, so you're probably used to that now. But before you go, you know, what if a young comedian came to you today, you know, and said, Elonge, I want to become a comedian, you know, what would you tell that comedian to be that will help them to succeed? Because people don't fancy comedy. They like laughing at the jokes, but they don't actually see how they can make money out of it. You know,
out of
a young comedian comes to you today.
Yes.
What would you tell them to do?
Yeah. Okay, just to say that I'm a young comedian too.
Well, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but I think that the success of Anti-Felicia I receive these all the time, from younger comedians who want to try their hands, and even some established comedians who have not been able to get the type of results which we've been able to get. So they reach out and what they want to do. My first issue, the first thing which I realized was, I remember this person reaching out to me and saying, oh, I want to really, I'm a comedian. He says, I'm a comedian. And I would like you to share my page and follow me. And he had not put out any comedy skit.
Right.
And I was telling him, you've not put in the work.
Yeah.
Put in the work. Don't have expectations of people. Don't feel entitled. Yeah. Put in the work first. So if you're a young comedian, create your page. Create your page. Work on your content. Put it out there. Network. Try to reach out to other comedians for collaborations, so you can hack into their platforms and their followership. But do not go to an established comedian and say, like one reached out to me and say, hey, I want you to write a story so that we can work together. No, you work on something and bring something to the table. Yeah. Bring something to the table and we can improve on that idea. Do not be lazy. Yeah. Do not be lazy, and do not think that comedy is just a title. It's a profession. It's hard work. Do not do it because you want to just be popular. Yes. So the first thing is, it's work. Put in the work, and do not put in the work and play the victim. Don't play the victim. Don't think that people are obliged to support you. Just keep working. I was telling people, I've been nominated for so many awards and I've never won any. You know, and I've never won any, and yet I've never felt entitled to win. Yeah. I've never even bothered that I haven't won. What I do is I work harder. Yes. So just keep working, work harder, be strategic. Create your pages. It's social media now. Most of these people come do not have resources. Trust me, they don't have the resources. But social media is free.
Yeah.
Create it. Create your content. Put it there. Use your immediate network to support you. So your
Yeah.
family, your friends, let them share. Be on their necks. Create your WhatsApp group. Share with them. Ask them for feedback. Ask them for their honest feedback.
Yes.
And then just keep working. Look for collaborations. I started comedy with collaboration. When I wrote my first script, I went to Karo and Kopis, and I told them, I
Mm.
have this story idea. Please, would you people be interested in the idea? And when they heard it, they was like, this is wonderful. This is great. I wasn't just coming there because they were popular. I wrote
Yeah.
something that
That's
matched
something.
their character, something which I think they could actually buy into. So
Mm.
do that and be happy with every little step you are taking and appreciate it and the people who support you. And it will come. It will come. Trust me, it will come.
Thank you very much for that. We really, really
Yeah.
appreciate you. I have to let you go now. And man, you've cracked me this afternoon. You made me cry, but it's crying on the positive, crying
Oh God.
on the
Oh
positive
God.
note.
And please can I just say one thing? One
Yes.
thing. Comedy is not the last resort for failure.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
That's
just want that
incredible.
to
Say
be there.
that again. Say that. I
I
want
just
you to say that again.
Comedy is not the last resort for failure.
Hmm.
It's not something that you get into because you failed in every other thing in life.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's how it should be. It should be.
Hmm.
If you do that, you are adding to the false narrative that
That's
comedians
right.
are school dropouts and all of that. No. Yeah, I just get tired of it sometimes when people I want to get to the point where people see a comedian who is educated, who is profound, and are like, okay, now comedian, that's why he sounds so intelligent.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. That's such a statement, That's such a statement. But hey, I appreciate you and really, really thank you for coming on board today. I'll probably make a short clip, few short clips just so as to share it again, especially the one that I was crying
Yes.
and when Auntie Felicia. But
Oh God.
man, we truly appreciate you. Guys,
Thank you.
please, you heard the man. Let's support him. Let's support his work. Like his work, share his work, support the organizations that he's working with. This is entrepreneurship, man. Like it's about helping one another, holding one another up, pulling someone up. And by so doing, we'll build a better Africa and a better Cameroon. So thank you very much, Elonge, for your time this afternoon. And
Okay, just
yeah.
one bonus, a bonus for you.
Okay.
So Auntie Felicia is offering you one promotional post for the
Yes.
entrepreneurship platform.
Thank you very much. Hey, what happened? Okay, well, hey, listen, guys. You heard them. Well, you heard Anti-Feli. You heard Anti-Feli. I don't know what happened. Something.
Yeah, something happened.
The devil is a
Yeah,
liar.
the devil is a liar. But I was saying that we are offering because of the incredible work that you're doing. I watched your show with God this, and I'm really in awe for the work that you're doing. And I know that work like this don't always have the biggest followership and do not always
Yeah,
have the attention that it deserves. And we
yeah.
would like to give it some of the attention that we think it deserves. So we are giving you at your own discretion when and whatever you want. If you have any promotional material on the entrepreneur, so whether it's a video that advertises it, if you want us to just make a post of it, we are doing that for you on all Anti-Feli platforms. So
Wow,
you
wow.
just tell us when you're ready.
I I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and I am humbled. I am humbled. Obviously, like you rightly said, work like this don't always have the youth followership. Because
Yes, yes,
it's kind of niche, and
yes,
but I believe like working together we can definitely get somewhere. Even if it's just 5 people that understand the concept, and they are able
Yes.
to, get something from your experience and go make something of their life. That is very rewarding for me. So but
Yes.
I appreciate what you've offered us. Definitely, I'm going to take you up on that. And thank you very much for coming on board. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day, man. Stay blessed. Stay blessed.
Have a great day. Okay.
All right, guys, that was Anti-Felicia. I hope you were laughing as well. But if you've learned something, one thing I've learned today that he said that struck me is, don't make comedy to be the place for you after you everything else have failed. No, no, no. It should be a profession. It should be something that you work hard for. It should be something, a craft, like every other profession that you take on board, and you work at it day in, day out. Remember, I said this morning, success is a two-sided coin. The failure is part of the success. The scars are part of the success. The story, the failure, the rejection, the no's, and if somebody says they're going to help you and they don't help you, is part of the success. And Elonge says something, don't expect people to support you. The people who are your audience will always find you. They will find you, and that is why if you want to depend on people supporting you and liking you, you're not going to go too far, to be honest with you. You need to believe in yourself, believe in your craft. You need to keep working day in, day out. And as sure as there is sun, daylight and night, you will have a moment when you're going to break through. The law of averages says that if you do something, like I'm talking about law of averages in business, if you fail, the more you fail, the closer to success you get in business. The more you fail, the closer to success you get. And so I just want you to go home with that knowledge today. Okay? Do not be disheartened. Do not be discouraged. Like, hey, look at the numbers that we are having now. They don't look good. But I'm telling you, a day is going to come when 5,000 people will be watching us live, 10,000 people will be watching us live. Because in business or in entrepreneurship, it's all about consistency. Consistency. It's all about consistency. You have to be consistent in what you're doing. When you fail, it's okay. Find a way to make it work. You fail 1,000 times, get up 1,000 times and try again. That is what it means to be an entrepreneur. And don't do it, just for doing it. Do it with integrity. Don't take people for granted. Somebody comes to you to work with you on a project or on something, put in the work that is required. Don't take them, for granted or for fools. Give them the time that they need. Provide the value for the service or the product that they are asking you to provide. If you cannot deliver, tell them you cannot deliver and don't take their money. If you take their money, make sure you deliver what you said you're going to deliver. This is integrity. Okay? If you do business like that, if you work like that, trust me, even when you're down, those very people will be the ones that will hold you up. But if you use people as fools, you take people for granted, when you're down, you will really be down because they will make sure that you stay down. Okay, so do business with integrity, work with people with integrity. Don't take anything for granted. Don't expect people just to give you their platform, because they've worked hard to get to where they are. Come to the table with something, have something of value in your hand and bring it to the table. And if you do it that way, people will also realize and recognize the work that you're doing, and they will stand with you and they will support you. Okay, so today it was, it's been an incredible session today. I hope you were laughing, as hard as I was laughing, because I was crying. I had to have a handkerchief, because it was such an amazing session. Hey guys, listen, this is The Entrepreneur. What we're doing is to educate, to empower you. This Sunday, listen guys, I'm giving you a tip. This Sunday, I'm bringing somebody in from the city of London known as the Coin Whisperer. We will be talking about cryptocurrencies. Like, what on earth is going on with cryptocurrencies? Why is everything so red and bloody? Why are people losing billions of dollars in cryptocurrency? What is happening this Sunday? The time is going to be 7 p.m., because we want you guys to be home, relaxed, calm, so that you would enjoy. And then from that session on that day, you will gain some strategies of what you can do on your crypto portfolio, for Monday if you don't have one, or what you can do or begin to do on Monday if you already have a crypto portfolio. So, guys, it was an awesome, awesome afternoon this, today. And I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Please do share our content. Do share the page. Like the page. We are on Instagram. Do follow us on Instagram. Do follow us on Facebook. Do follow us on TikTok. Do follow us on Twitter as well. On LinkedIn, we are on LinkedIn. So every social platform out there, we are there. And all we can ask is that you follow us, you share the content, and you get the word out. How many of you knew that Anti-Felicia was actually a brilliant entrepreneur? Now you know. Thank you very much. And